let me ask you a question.
What's good?
Welcome back to Who Wants to Be a Volunteer, the show that's putting you on the front lines. I'm here with Lily, who's all the way from Europe, and she's one question away from winning the grand prize, a chance to save Africa. Lily, how are you feeling?
I'm quite proud of myself. I didn't think I'd make it.
Well, you pulled through well. Let's not waste any more time. Lily, are you ready?
I was born ready.
Let's play Who Wants to Be a Volunteer. For the grand prize of a chance to save Africa, answer this question. How many countries are there in Africa? Is it A, 1, B, 2, C, 5, or D, 54?
I know I should know this one. I just can't remember.
This is the final question. You can't make a mistake now.
I'll use my last lifeline.
You want to use the Call an African Child lifeline.
Yes, please.
Well, you've helped them so much. Let's see if they can help you. Let's get Michael on the line.
Hello?
Hello, Michael.
Breezy, what's up, man?
Michael, I'm sitting here with Lily, and she's one question away from saving Africa. She needs your help. Lily, your time starts now.
Michael, how many countries are in Africa? Is it A, 1, B, 2? Michael? Michael?
I think it's frozen. Damn African line speeds.
What was the question again?
How many countries are in Africa?
Not much help, was he?
No.
Well, Lily, we're almost out of time now. If you don't know the answer, you're just going to have to guess.
Okay. A, 1.
Final answer?
Yes.
Well, Lily, looks like you're going to have to pack your bags. But you're not going home. You're going to go save Africa. African Mayhem on Who Wants to Be a Volunteer?
Hey, I'm in love. My fingers keep on clicking to the beating of my heart. Hey, I can't stop my feet. Ebony and ivory and dancing in the street. Hey, it's 'cause of you. The world is in a crazy, hazy hue. My heart's beating like a drum.
Wasn't that supposed to be like part of that or something? What was that? But I like what they're trying to do right there.
That was by the Norwegian Students and Academics International Assistant Fund, and they normally do these kind of videos just to sensitize on the issue of how to treat, how to help people, how to do things, not to do it in the general stereotypical way most NGOs do, of putting down and demeaning people's dignity through their ads, through their media, and they try to do it in a more positive way by doing satire. So that's
Which is a great segue,
Yeah.
by the way, because as you can see, we have a special guest. This is Open Conversations.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Where we like to talk about social stuff, anything basically where you open your mind and say how you feel. Just going to give a little intro, Teo. May I?
Please
Yes.
do. Please
Thank
do,
you.
sir.
I didn't really need your permission, but anyway. This is the director, External Relations and Resource Mobilization of the Kenya Red Cross Society.
Glossy.
She was formerly the Director of Development and Partnerships at Future Generations in New York. Shout out to New York.
Wow.
Prior to that, she was a Director of Development and Partnerships with Global Fairness Initiative in Washington, D.C. She is a certified equities dealer with the Nairobi Stock Exchange.
I knew that one.
And was a.
Stock
I'm about to
exchange.
butcher this word right here. I think it's chevening.
Yeah, I saw that one
Scholar.
too. It's hard.
Yeah.
It's so hard.
She holds an MBA, finance from Leeds University, and a Bachelor of Science, biology from Concordia University in Canada. Ladies and gentlemen.
I mean, like one of them. You need one of them.
Run the drums, run the drums.
White.
Hello, Rico.
Hello.
How you doing?
I'm well, thank you. How
So-
are you?
Great.
Very good.
Akinyi loves your dreads. I just want to say
I
that.
do
right
love
now.
them. I love
Thank
them
you.
so much. They're everything.
I know they're neat. They don't, and I'm not.
What are you
I'm
trying
not-
to say though? Wait, hold on.
Said.
Oh, no, no. No,
Yes.
no, it had nothing to do with that. No, because somebody told me. Sorry,
Be like,
this
anyway,
is
I
random.
was like,
No, somebody told me they went to a Lenny Kravitz concert, and that dude was funky. Anyway, that has nothing to do with this. So, basically, what we did today is we brought her on because Red Cross is trying to find ways to engage the youth in helping in the, the humanitarian services and whatnot. So, what we did really is ask her to be the interviewer today. So she sent us a couple questions, which I'll read out, and of course she's gonna pay attention. But she'll give us a little background about the struggles probably they're having, Rico, as far as engaging the youth. So what's going on with that exactly?
Well, just it's important to note that Kenya Red Cross is actually celebrating 50 years
ooh, little
this year, 2015. Thank you very much.
brilliant
Thank you.
stuff. Awesome.
We believe we've had a lot of growth and participation, and we know the youth has been central to our work. And so this year, more than ever, we want to engage the youth. We want to get them excited about being part of the Kenya Red Cross.
Just gonna
for
move
the-
this closer to you.
Yeah.
for
Let
the
world
first
know.
Yes, exactly. Exactly. This is an opportunity for them to engage, and there's a lot that we do that they can also benefit from.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Okay, so the couple of questions he sent. First one was, have you ever tried engaging with the Red Cross? So remember, she's the one asking the questions now.
I'm gonna say it. I have, Rico. I've tried engaging with the Red Cross on Twitter, actually.
Okay.
Yeah. I was a follower,
Okay.
and I think I tweeted once like, this traffic is bad. Something must have happened. Red Cross, check it out.
Oh, very good. You know what we call that?
Yeah.
An I volunteer.
An I volunteer.
So well done.
You hear that?
You're an I volunteer, and we
Titles.
appreciate them because a lot of our news comes from people who do that.
Thank
And we have people who continuously engage, and we encourage you to do it some more.
Are they like gift packages?
Maybe this year we'll have some.
Akinyi?
I have never done anything related with the Red Cross. Maybe because of stereotypes like that, what most NGOs do.
Okay.
of
Which,
how
by the
to
way,
demean
we're gonna
the
get to that. By the
content,
way, Mr. Foos,
Yo.
have you ever tried to engage with the Red Cross?
No, I haven't, but I was really impressed with the Boma Hotel.
Okay.
I went there and I understood that was your, whole.
Sustainability.
I was in shock because that's
Excellent.
amazing. That's another source of revenue. You don't need to rely on donations, and literally kudos to you guys for that.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you very much. Over time.
The Boma.
Yes,
He's pretty much answered the second question, by the way. So
Good stuff,
we know his
Foos.
opinion about the Red Cross. Teo, what's your opinion about the Red Cross?
My opinion about the Red Cross. I think the Red Cross is cool. Your cars are always very clean and nice.
Compared to?
Compared to mine. Okay. Compared to mine. But my opinion about the Red Cross is I like the fact that you guys are there. And I never feel like they'll be stranded. Because I don't want to call out any hospitals. I don't want to call out anybody. But some of our ambulances, those ambulances look run down. And we've been reading stories about even some hospitals won't, attend to certain patients because of issues to do with money and payment. So to the Red Cross, I'm always like, at least if worst comes to worst, people will get the aid that they need. So I salute them on that.
Thank
That's
you.
what
Rico, I
I
have
need.
to prepare you because the person I'm about to ask that question to is very opinionated. Can you please?
Yes.
What's your opinion about the Red Cross?
It's changed as time has gone by because I had a misunderstanding about what the Red Cross was actually about. And these are national initiatives that happen within countries. It's not a body held outside trying to tell you what to do. You set it up within your country, and then those volunteers within it help. So I probably wish I had that different kind of mindset before, because the only type of NGO-related stuff I do is with the UNEP, and that's with the Tunza group, the youth and in the environment, because I think that's more of everyone is affected by those
Yeah.
issues currently.
Yeah.
So for me, I think it really is great to have these kind of things, because in places like Kenya, where we need to actually come in to certain situations and everything, sometimes the government doesn't react on time, and you need to be the person to do something, and who do you turn to? It probably just is the Red Cross. There's no one else. That you can't ask Medicines Frontiers to come or whatever, you know, as in it's not, it can't happen. So, you know, that kind of thing. So,
which is interesting you were saying it that way, because to me, it sounds like somebody who's pretty involved.
Yeah, that's what I was
the
about
way
to
she's
say.
answering that. But so now the question becomes, I'm gonna, like, what struggles are you having, if any, on engaging people like us? Like,
I think, Akinya, you've really actually brought out the key issue, the misunderstanding of what Kenya Red Cross is and what we do. Kenya Red Cross, first of all, is a national institution. It's auxiliary to government.
okay.
We were formed through an act of parliament, so there could only be one in the country. What we do is basically we're here to alleviate human suffering and basically to even promote the quality of life. It is owned, you can say, by Kenyans.
Okay.
You can become a member. You can become a volunteer, and through that you go through the governance and so forth. So yes, you could actually have a say in how things are run, how things are done, and that's where we really want to cultivate the youth, because you are the leaders of tomorrow. And with you on board, then you can form, perhaps, you know, we're focused on some areas and we need to expand. You're the visionaries. And so this year we're saying, come on board, tell us what you see and what you know and where we can engage and how you can become involved. You can volunteer, you can give your time, you can give your resources, and that's the conversation we want to have.
So I'm curious about how you're actually trying to, how you're relaying that message to are you just saying come volunteer, or is there a certain language you're speaking so that they can understand it's worth their...
Exactly, that's what I want to add upon. How are you going to start educating people more on understanding this is a national thing? This is a body for us, not a body against us or a body trying to demean us. What are you going to do about that?
Well, that's a very good question. We know our audiences are varied, and so we'll use different channels. This is actually our very first, you know, announcement of the 50 years, and youth has been a priority. So I think having a candid conversation like this, hearing feedback, what you said, what you thought, and maybe what you're learning about the institution, and we also take, you know, we get a lot of criticism, particularly in Twitter sometimes.
I'm not one of them. I just wouldn't do such a thing.
Never social media.
Never.
But it is also ways for us to take stock and perhaps readjust. So yes, through social networks, that would be one. Through forums like this, we do have school clubs where, you know, in the universities, in most of the, you know, secondary schools and so forth, and some primary, getting the, you know, the spokespeople, the leaders within to probably get involved and start leading. So we have a number of clubs, but I think we want to expand that.
Let me ask you a question. Sorry, don't mean to cut you off.
Yes.
And I like that Fuzak's here because he does a lot of events. Do you see a lot of the Red Cross people like probably doing the, you know, as far as emergencies and whatnot? Have you ever like said, oh yeah, we know so and so is going to be around?
Yeah, I mean, we use Red Cross quite a bit, but I think where you guys really shine is any disaster, you're there first on the ground. Like you hear it in the news, you see it in the news. You're so efficient, and I think, I mean, luckily, touch wood, at our events, everything's been okay, but just your disaster management, again, compared to anyone else in Kenya, it's amazing.
Teo?
Well, Rico, I was gonna, since I am I volunteer and, you know, I'm in the club, I just wanted to actually ask, Kenya Red Cross Society.
Yes.
So where do you guys get your resources from? That's what I want to know, is where do the resources come from and to be used on Kenyans? Because Akinyi is under the impression, I think, that they're from outside and they're being, you know, so I just want to set the record straight.
Yes, very good question, and I think that's where the largest misunderstanding is. When we go out and respond to emergencies, it is resources that we ourselves have put in. Actually, the initial resources that we use are a fund from the Kenya Red Cross staff. It's called the UTU Fund, in which we ourselves give a certain amount. It's optional to put in whatever you want from 100 shillings up. And that's the discretionary fund that actually allows us to first respond.
Okay.
While we're there and the assessment is done, then we can say, okay, maybe the International Red Cross usually is the second, or the government themselves, if they have, let's say, for example, it's famine and we're already on the ground, they would probably be able to give the food right away and support. But the immediate, when you get the call, you don't have to start a fundraising campaign.
That's
the
true.
first thing
That's
you
true.
do is respond.
Yeah.
So those are funds that initially come through the UTU mainly, or funds that maybe have come in for disaster. And usually they're very limited. Running the ambulances is very costly. Consumables, the staffing, they're staffed by professionals, paramedics and emergency medical technicians. So you're getting pre-hospital care the minute they get on site. It's not that they're just evacuating you.
Yeah.
So the funding actually is a big challenge for us over time. The government has been very generous in terms of giving us location, land in the past so we can have offices and so on. But on the budget, we are not funded or bankrolled by them. So we basically, for most emergencies and most of our work, we have to engage donors. We're really trying to get more Kenyans to understand that, to know this is your institution. We're here to help you.
Now, it's
And
funny
if
you're
you
saying
invest
that, by
here-
the way,
Yes.
because the reason, because I don't want you to leave that point, you're saying you're trying to engage them, but you guys do a lot of invisible work. So where do you find the balance between doing all that invisible work and trying to engage a youth who is like addicted basically to social media? How do you, where are you going to find that balance?
And what is invisible work, by the way?
So invisible work, we're known for the emergency. We do a lot of livelihood, let's say large farms, drilling of boreholes, making sure the right seed is there. Because we've learned after emergencies, we're left behind. We're not an international institution. We're there with the communities. We do have currently about 70,000 volunteers. So when people say, how quickly are you there? It's because of our network of volunteers, and that's why I encourage you. But the invisible work is actually all those other things that we do. We do a lot of psychosocial support and health for maternal care, which does not get the blitz of the media, but it's being done every day. The fires and so forth. So I think that's what you were referring to as invisible work.
And before we wrap up, I just wanted to ask, how open are you to ideas from young people? Because I'm suggesting they'd have to go to your Facebook page or your Twitter. I mean, we can be really out there. I mean, what would you think people can suggest? Can they suggest Red Cross concerts? What would you think?
Yes,
there any
I think, for them, how can we reach you and how can we be relevant? And most people think if I join, then I'll be made to do, first aid, and maybe they're not, that's not there. But there are a lot of things. We run, legal department, we run PR and communications department, and we have skills, volunteers and interns who come through there. So I think the main thing is on social media, give us feedback. Like, we're here, Kenya Red Cross. We want to know what you do. We want to get involved in another way. Whether it's a conversation like this, whether it's a town hall. What we're trying to do this year, we're actually doing this is a questionnaire to you. What suggestions? May I throw this question back to you? Where could we find you? Where can we engage with you?
I actually think, I don't know, I think a good idea would be to, of course, a lot of these volunteers, I'm assuming, they usually don't want the limelight or anything. But I think if you highlight somebody who's young, one of us who's doing great work.
I'm an I volunteer, by the way.
You know what I'm saying?
Not
that guy. He just loves the camera.
I'm just going to say that again.
But,
Well done.
if you highlight somebody who's willing to, they may not necessarily have to speak on the video or something, but something where we can visually see, because, I think it's a visual generation, and my producer's talking about it might be me. No.
I think
They'd be like, I don't want to work. That's no. So maybe, I don't know. What do you think about that? Maybe if you do something like you highlight one of us who's doing that work and is excited to do it, maybe the rest of us will want to join. I don't know. What do you guys think?
I
Make
think
it a
if you give
trend
them a car,
online.
I think a car. I think if you highlight them and you give them a nice car with the red plates, that's it. That's it. You have me sold.
You have to go into there. But I think the whole thing, are you willing to do that? Are you willing to get involved, go out in the field, go maybe to an informal settlement, meet, some of the people who are there benefiting, and then we put that out there. We'd be happy to work with you on that. spokespeople and representatives. I think it's a great idea, and we can explore that. But yes, I think that's viable. I think we should explore it, and others may see and follow by example.
Yeah.
And we have a few, but perhaps you could also help us identify who are the influencers that we need to bring on board that others then follow.
We should forward that. We should forward that to our people that are watching tonight on What's Good Live.tv. Of course, and other people that are tweeting in and Facebooking us. That's a question forwarded to you by the Kenya Red Cross Society, of course. Wariko's asking us, who are the volunteers, who are the influencers out there that could join and actually be the flag bearers, the role models of this, society? No? Sort of.
And tag us at Kenya Red Cross, and we'll be able to follow up and pick it up.
Okay. I want to ask one real question because this has to be known.
Yes.
What are the emergency numbers in case of an emergency for the Kenya Red Cross Society? Who can I call?
Emergency number is 1199. With that, we have a 24-hour service, and that basically connects you to across the country to ambulance and to any other response, be it fire. We work with the fire brigade. We work with many other stakeholders, but that's the number, 1199.
So basically, the Red Cross is more functional than our own 911 system nationally.
I've tried actually. That's true because I've tried them.
Because they don't pick up. They actually don't freaking pick up.
It's tough.
That one has been working for many years, so it's a system that's already there. We have an emergency operations center that is basically monitors across the country. So that's a number. If ever you need support and help, please remember 1199.
Rely on the Red Cross.
That's what's up, man. Speaking of social media and whatnot, we should have a video coming up of Ellen. But I just want to say, Wariko, thank you so much. Thank you, by the way, to all the volunteers. You know what I'm saying? Giving up your private time or whatnot to help everybody else do what they need to do, especially in emergencies. You probably save lives and you're never highlighted or anything. So we appreciate that. Once again, young people, you want to volunteer, man. It's going to be worth it. I think it's going to be worth it. If you can help a guy like that, I mean.
It's true. I'm an I volunteer, so just, I'm just saying, just join up. It's really worth it.
Appreciate having you, Wariko. Once again, Mr. Fuzak.
Cheers, guys.
Enjoy the music, man. Might want to catch him. I don't know. Maybe you should tell him where they can catch you, man.
We're back in Diani, Swahili Beach. We're throwing a massive festival there, old package. Zen Garden Fashion IT. And guys, there's a new Florida in town that's reopening.
Oh, okay. Jeez.
I can't say too much, but it's we're kind of involved with that, man.
Okay. Mr. Fuzak.